if we're honest. I think best would probably be Ari. And the reason I answer that is because he's making me think that right now. So that's my answer.
Outstanding. Hello, and welcome to Khyber Shards, a 5th edition actual play set in the Eberron campaign world. I am Philip.
I'm Colin.
And this is another Khyber Shards Q&A. We've gotten a chance to meet all the characters. We're, 5 episodes in to our campaign at this point. And last week, we talked with Casey about her character Shade and what she had what lessons she had learned about Shade as a character, and got some reactions to some viewer questions. And tonight we're going to look at Pog and talk to Colin a bit about the evolution of his character over the couple of sessions we've got to record. It's always weird to talk about. We've had 5 episodes because we've played twice.
Yeah, for sure.
It takes some getting used to. But I'm going to talk to you. If you would like to have your questions on this show, all the questions that we read tonight will have been submitted on our Discord by our viewers and our patrons. You can find a link to that in the description down there, along with links to all of our social media on Facebook and Twitter, as well as to Colin's social media on Twitch, because Colin is a Twitch streamer, which you can find him. Colin will tell you.
Right now, apparently.
Right now,
I stream on Twitch. I don't have a set schedule at the moment. I've got to move in the works, and we will get more regular then. But I am at twitch.tv/sorrybtr. The O is a 0 in the name, and I am on all socials at the same.
Great. All right, well, let's dive in. So we have had a couple of sessions now with Pog. Now, I was going to ask, because I asked Casey how it felt different for her playing D&D for an audience, and I was going to ask you the same thing, but right as we were talking about this at the beginning, I realized that literally all of your D&D experience has been recorded.
That's all I know.
By me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really funny. I don't know how to.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Well, but I'm also perhaps the wrong one to ask, because I'm sure the members of your Discord will agree that I am kind of purposefully unaware of whether or not anybody watches this video as best I can. Even though I stream, there's just something different about playing this game and knowing that there's people watching. I'm not confident as the new one at the table. I'm not confident in my play enough to be able to answer some of the questions, or to really have fully fleshed out things that a more experienced player would have thought. I love reading the questions and thinking about the answers, but I don't necessarily have them right up front. So I don't know if anybody's ever watched a video except one person commented on one and we had a conversation. And other than that, I don't know the viewership numbers. So, for me, it's very much just, Philip and Eric and I have been good friends since college, getting to know RA and Casey. And so for me, it's just playing D&D over the internet.
Yeah.
Which again is the only way I've ever played D&D. I've never sat properly at a table. And so
one day
I'm just playing with my friends, having my buddy run me through an adventure right now.
Awesome. So one of the things that I'm sure you're finding or will begin to find about playing D&D that we've mentioned is you really don't know who a character is when you build them. You kind of build them and they're a set of numbers and you have a couple of character traits in your mind, but you really don't know them. So I'm curious, over the course of our couple of sessions of play, what do you think you have learned? Is there anything you think you've learned about Pog?
There is. I think it's a really interesting thing, especially because when we played before, it was who are you going to sit down as for 3 hours, one time only. And I unashamedly said at the start of this that I just wanted to play something I thought would be fun. And so we kind of built Pog out around that. And then through just the stuff that we've done so far, I've kind of been able to find the flesh out on him. And I think what's interesting is that I'm finding myself playing something that I'm naturally not, which is enjoyable for me. I'm finding that that Pog is a very tough exterior, very, very strong exterior, but there's a really sensitive guy in there. There's a really soft, insecure guy in there. And the more we've discussed backstory, the more that's kind of just come out for Pog. In, you know, from the start, we said that he wasn't angry about being cast out of this society or that. He was going to show them up. But the longer I live with that fact, the more it's just it's a Will Smith at the end of Fresh Prince. It's the why didn't he want me? Mm-hmm. You know, well, what did I do? What was wrong? And so gravitating towards someone like Ari, who's got that kind of confidence to him and the worldliness about him, and then at the counter side, being really sensitive to something that was just said mean by a street vendor, you know, and even one of my companions reinforcing that. Yeah, it's funny. It's still this thing. There's a soft guy in there, and that's been a lot of fun to kind of discover his strengths and weaknesses, and I don't know when this goes up versus what will have been out, but to gravitate towards someone else's vulnerability, as we saw happen in the last thing we recorded, was a really fun moment to get to just naturally feel.
Yeah, that was a very cool moment.
I don't know that you were ready for them.
I wasn't. I don't want to get too much into it because that will not have released.
Yeah.
So that'll still be, that'll be 48 hours after this. People will be able to see that. So little
get ready.
Preview, get ready. It's a good one. It's a doozy. Yeah, no, that was a great moment. I'm looking forward to seeing how people react to that.
Me too. I will be reading in the Discord to see if there's reaction to that. I can't lie, because as soon as that moment occurred, I went, what did Colin just do?
Awesome. So speaking of sensitive Pog, one of the questions that we got that was sort of meant for everyone, so I'm going to ask it gradually a little bit at a time, is thoughts on the possibility of character romance. Because we met Solarka in the last episode, and Pog has clearly got some thoughts on Solarka.
All of them about hand holding. I just want to hold a hand. Such a strong, capable hand. You know, I don't know. It's a great question, first of all. It's also, I think I need at least another 10 hours before I could safely answer that question. Because that's about where we are with knowing Pog. And I find it interesting. I think it was just fun in that moment for you to have presented someone who was so substantial, physically substantial, and for that Twitter patient to have been something that I don't know. I just it strong character, physically strong, presence strong, just right off the bat. I mean, I could see it. I don't know how likely it is for our boy Pog to really have too much smoothness in this regard. We've already seen that Ari knows his way around some flattery. So maybe we'll get an opportunity for some lessons. We'll get our crazy stupid love on.
There you go.
And we'll see Pog dressed to impress. But as of right now, I think it's almost a simpler schoolboy crush kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Just an infatuation with who she is.
No, I like that. I enjoyed introducing Solarka. When I think I mentioned this in the episode, but when everyone was making their characters, I gave everyone a list of NPCs that existed in Stormreach, and I asked them to pick a good relationship and a bad relationship. We met both of Pog's answers because the Goblin Street Vendor who insulted you was on your list, and you picked him as a bad relationship, and then Solarka you picked as a positive relationship. So I was excited that she got picked twice. Actually, she was also picked by
because Shade chose
Casey.
her as well, right? Yeah.
So I'm excited that she got picked because that was a fun character when I discovered her in the Stormreach book. I knew this was someone I wanted to bring to life in the story, so I'm excited for her.
Yeah, and I guess this is the first time that I've gotten to have this sensation of player Colin just thinking what's cool for, character Pog. I just read her description that you sent, and I was like, yeah, I bet he'd try to hang out there. Because, like the gladiators, the warrior, yeah, maybe. But if I'm going to be working at a rough and tumble bar, maybe it's more interesting to have found a lady friend that he can have made acquaintance with.
Yeah, cool. So Laura also had some questions that she wanted everyone to answer. And I don't know what the answer is here for you. What other character concepts did you consider? Did you consider any other character concepts, or would you sort of immediately jump to what you landed on?
Okay, so as we stated at the outset, I was really just looking for something fun to play. And so I'd be lying if I didn't just say that playing a wizard feels like, cookie cutter D&D. Knowing roughly what we were going to be, just having had the conversations that we had for literally months, you and I, prior to any kind of actually fleshing this out, I knew that wasn't going to be a fit, like to just be an out and out wizard. Plus, I also knew with my own tendencies, I was going to, that would wind up more one-dimensional than I wanted to experience from a character level. So as I continued looking through, I thought, just take something that I kind of know and make it something new at the same time. So I feel comfortable, as we discussed in the player intro, I feel comfortable in the warrior kind of role, the big, the burly, the bearded, and the violent. And so that sounds fun. And then through you using the aberrant marks and going the history that we did, I was able to make more of a character out of that. So no, it was never really an alternate for me. This is kind of after I went, wizard would be cool, won't fit. Let's go barbarian. It just made more sense.
Yeah. And were you consciously aware of any inspirations for who Pog is?
No.
No. Okay.
No, that's a disappointing answer as I give it. I recognize.
But,
I think the only thing that I would say is, again, this acknowledges my extreme shortcomings of knowledge as a D&D player. My knowledge of orc would be Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And so I thought it was kind of fascinating, like the idea of like, what if one dude was just like, I don't really feel like the whole war thing.
Right.
I'm going to go be a fisherman, and like the story of one non-hive mind orc. And that was the part that drew me towards not just being standard barbarian, was I, in my experience, have never gotten to see an orc with a story.
Right.
And I thought that was kind of cool, again, as I've said before, Philip told me at the start, play what you think will be fun. And even though there are people watching this video, hopefully you guys think Pog's at least a little bit fun, because I just thought it was kind of interesting thing to go for. So that's just how that wound up.
Cool. Laura also had a couple questions for Colin, I think. This is a fun one, I like this. If Pog was an actual X-Man, what would his code name be?
Oh, man. Oh. Oh, that's a really good question that I wish I had known about prior to this moment. That is good. Man. Geek Pantheon rules, Geek Pantheon rules, Geek Pantheon rules. Sorry.
After we're not recording, you got to tell me what just went into your mind.
I don't know. I don't know. There's so many ways to go with that. It would be Green Flame related.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I don't know, man. Because it's that there's only you go the obvious fire route, and pyro's just too easy.
Pyro,
maybe
spark.
firework.
Firework.
Ooh, sparkler.
Sparkler.
Go with sparkler. I don't know. Man, just there's flamethrower would probably not be an ideal.
Mm-hmm. It's a rich field. Fire is a rich field for superhero names.
It is. It is. It's like a wealth of opportunities. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get to find out.
Sparkler feels good, though.
Sparkler feels good. And then also for Colin, you GM'd a Blades in the Dark game. How was it? How was your experience running it?
How was my experience? My experience was incredible. How was the game? I don't know.
Right.
And I really don't, because I say this with all seriousness, I've never seen one run properly. And from its core, it was us using the book and then kind of making it work. So if you were to like have somebody who wrote Blades in the Dark critique it, probably absolute garbage. But how was it for us? It was a blast. And I got to encounter, as you and I discussed at the time, we got to encounter the players making decisions I was in no way ready for. I mean, I was super proud of this 4-story scholastic mansion that I had designed. Like, I had laid out what number of characters, armor classes, everything, and they wound up, one of them went, I think, through the bottom. They lit a door on fire and the whole thing burned to ashes around them. And they had to like stealth in through the ashes with the army they were supposed to stealth by coming up the doors, and they made it into the tomb. And so like the 8 hours that I had anticipated it taking them to get through to the basement, it was 90 minutes of just mad dash sprinting. And then they were like, okay, and I slammed the door behind me. And I'm like, well, we're going to have to pick this up tomorrow because you guys just took out a weekend's worth of play right here, which was awesome. It was awesome. And, having listened to you guys for Campaign 1, it just gave me so many moments of when Eric would be like, okay, well, we'll pause here for a second. I need to go look at something. And difference being I didn't have the internet to get on, and so I ran to the little phone and was like, hey, Philip, you busy, man? Because they just burned down my mansion that I planned, and this is not going well. It was awesome. It was a blast. Tons of laughs. It was what I would expect you shoot for a tabletop experience with your friends to be.
Yeah.
It was a blast.
That was probably one of my favorite calls from while you were inside was, I need help with my game. Like, it was so normal. Like, it was just such a...
You have a call
perfect
from Colin, an inmate hey, so they burned down my house and my tabletop game, and I need you to help me figure things out because I don't know what to do from here. I'm lost.
It was great.
Good times. Good times.
All right, so we have a question from Eric, and I feel like this is cheating because Eric doesn't pledge on the Patreon at the proper level to be in the Q&A tier, but
That's okay. He can give those as subs in my stream.
Yeah. Anyway, Eric, your fellow player, wants to know, how is Colin feeling at the start of a campaign? Obviously, with a one-shot, there is less stakes for your character since it's one and done. But is Colin thinking about Pog's future in a narrative or mechanical terms, or is he just taking it one session at a time?
Yes. I'm a little bit of both. Mm-hmm. I find myself thinking about Pog through the day, examining things that have happened, thinking forward about things you may have happen as a consequence of what we most recently did. But at the same time, trying to be a little bit more free-flowing ad-lib with it. Mm-hmm. Because I'm new to the structure, I worry that I might overthink and take some of the fun, instinctual aspects out if I try too hard. Differing from a one-shot, I'm a lot more anxious. For sure, because it was a disposable character. Sure. As much fun as they were, it was, if I love this character, maybe we can do it again, and if I hate this character, it's 3 hours.
Right.
So we move on. Sitting down for session 1, like setting the dice here on the table, and like we're about to start something that I don't know how long we do this for a long time. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a big commitment to this character that I have made. I hope I make something that's worth spending that time with.
Sure.
So it's anxiety inducing, but that's what's fun about us having had, even just with RA and Casey, a little bit of time to hang out before, is just feel each other's chemistry, mm-hmm. feel that as the new guy, I don't have to worry about not impressing. Nobody cares when I ask, what dice do I roll for this, or remind me how modifiers work. And just do what's fun.
Yeah.
Do what feels right. Mm-hmm. Play what you would do. And I'm feeling great. I can't wait. For tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I'm ready to play.
It's gonna be great.
So ready to play D&D. Eric asked me in my stream the other day, "Are you excited? There's only 4 days." And I was like, I'm gonna have a hard time sleeping knowing that it's that close. I'm so ready to play. I'm about it.
I'm very excited for tomorrow too. All right. Next one from the other Eric, a patron in our Discord. What has Colin's favorite moment been so far, with the obvious exception of the episode that hasn't been released?
Which
may or may not be, but
I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know. It's a great moment. Mm. I think it's a great moment because I just let Pog do what he was gonna do, and really was just like, oh boy. I had fun playing with Ari on the ship after he was found. Just like that. I remember just thinking how fun it would be for him to look in the room and to have had that surprise. That's what they were without, and she shouldn't without. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a lot of fun.
It was really funny.
That was an enjoyable moment for me. That, and I just thought it was great that after I wind up scarring my torso by being stabbed in the gut, having pulled someone back up, you're just like, he puts his hat on and walks away. Like, cool, man. Thanks. I guess, I should have anticipated that, but, Pog is scarred now.
Yeah.
Like, I really worked hard for that. And he lands and is just like, going that way now, and just takes off. Awesome. I'm still bleeding. That was just a fun moment as the player.
Mm-hmm. Siren asks, who has the best magic in the group, and why is it Ezri?
Oh man. Yeah, I wish he was wrong.
We'll just move right along.
Why is he in the? Is he a patron? Why is he? This is even less sensical. I mean, best is definitely a perspective thing. If we're honest, I think best would probably be Ari, and the reason I answer that is because he's making me think that right now. So that's my answer.
Outstanding. We all love the Hypnotoad. And our last question from Irene. What is Pog's impression of his colleagues? Has Pog's impression of his colleagues altered in the course of travel? Or is it more or less still where it was when we did the character intro?
That's a good question. I don't think it's changed. I think it may have deepened, if that makes sense. No one has really changed who they are because no one was really pretending to be anyone different.
Right.
At the Institute. The only change may be in how he views Shade. And that would be because of her leading expeditions. She's obviously more capable. And that's not so much necessarily a character change as it is just a growth. It's been 2 years. And so we've been together for those 2 years. She decided not to leave us 2 years ago. And so she has grown with the group. Yeah. We haven't retconned any reason to believe that anyone did anything of substance away from each other. And so he's probably got more trust in her than there was at the character intro. And that's that big brother, watching her grow into a more capable, controlled, aware person.
Cool.
That's what I'd say there.
All right. Well, that's our questions, and that's our check-in here on the Khyber Shards Q&A episode with Colin. Obviously,
and Aid.
Obviously, Colin and I are immensely excited for you to watch Monday's episode, which will be dropping
for real
a couple days from now. We hope you've enjoyed this little look in on Colin and Pog. We hope you've been enjoying the story so far. Let us know what you think and how we're doing down in the comments. We do, of course, appreciate likes and subscribes as often as you are able.
They're free to you and they're helpful for us.
Yes, if we all hail the algorithm.
All hail the algorithm.
And if you would like to chat with us about the show, submit questions for this, all that can be done over on our Discord, which again, the link to is in the description below. So we hope we'll get to meet some of you over there. And for the rest of you, hope you've enjoyed this. Hope you will check out our story episodes and enjoy those as well, because we're having a blast making it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, Colin has to get up for work in like 4 hours or something. That's ridiculous for that. Yep. So we're going to go ahead and pull an all-nighter, wrap it up and let him pass out. So thank you all for watching. This has been Khyber Shards. I'm Philip.
I'm Colin.
And we'll see you later.